We all say we want to succeed. We chase goals, dream big, and visualize our future self, successful, free, and powerful. But what if I told you some people are terrified of actually getting there? Not because they don't want it, but because success itself feels unsafe. They sabotage opportunities, delay projects, or walk away when they're this close to winning. And when you ask them why, they'll say something like, "I'm just not ready yet," or "I don't want to be overwhelmed." But underneath, the real reason runs far deeper. It's not laziness. It's not lack of ambition. It's fear, the fear of success, a quiet, invisible force that disguises itself as procrastination, perfectionism, or even humility. So tonight, let's uncover the psychology behind it, how it forms, why it's so powerful, and why millions of people are unknowingly running away from the very thing they say they want most. Fear of success isn't something you're born with. It's learned, and like all deep-seated fears, it often begins in childhood, not in moments of failure, but in the few times you almost succeeded. Imagine this. A child brings home a drawing they're proud of. Their parent looks at it, smiles, but adds, "Why didn't you color it properly?" Or maybe, "You should make something better next time." The child's brain learns something subtle. Success comes with pressure. Pride invites criticism. And being noticed can be dangerous. This conditioning grows stronger as the child ages. Teachers reward performance, but punish mistakes. Friends celebrate wins, but mock try-hards. By adulthood, the brain has linked success with judgment, expectation, and loss of safety. Psychologists call this a learned fear of visibility. It's not fear of the goal itself. It's fear of what happens after the goal is achieved. You may fear envy. You may fear pressure. Or you may fear losing the version of yourself you've always known, the one who's still trying, not already made it. Once this fear sets in, the mind builds defenses to protect you from it, often disguised as healthy habits. You start over-planning. You tell yourself, "I'll start after I finish researching." But the research never ends. You become perfectionistic. You want everything flawless before launching it. But nothing ever feels ready. You self-sabotage. You get close to success. Then somehow, something goes wrong. You miss a deadline. You skip a call. You back away, not because you're incapable, but because your subconscious whispers, "If I succeed, everything will change, and I'm not sure I'll survive that change." According to Dr. Martina Horner, former president of Radcliffe College at Harvard, this fear is real and measurable. In the 1970s, she conducted a famous study on fear of success among high-achieving students. The results? A significant percentage, especially women during that time, feared success because it meant social rejection or being perceived as unfeminine. But men weren't immune either. They feared success would mean isolation, jealousy, or unbearable responsibility. Different faces, same fear. If I rise too high, I'll lose my place among the people I love. Let's look at what happens when this fear hits its peak. You finally start winning. You land a big client, get a promotion, or your creative project gains attention. For a brief moment, you feel proud. Then, Anxiety. What if I can't maintain this? What if people start expecting more? What if I lose it all? Success turns into a prison. The spotlight that once felt validating now burns like a glare. You start craving the comfort of invisibility again. That's why some people unconsciously destroy what they built. They quit. They pull away. They sabotage relationships, business deals, even health, just to return to safety. In one study from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, researchers found that people with high fear of success tendencies often underperform deliberately when being evaluated publicly, compared to when they worked privately. The conclusion: they weren't afraid of failing. They were afraid of being seen succeeding. Fast forward to today. Social media has made success a performance art. Everyone posts highlight reels, promotions, travels, luxury purchases, turning life into a competition of who's making it faster. Ironically, this only worsens the fear of success. Now, it's not just about doing well, it's about being publicly perfect. The digital world punishes vulnerability. You show wealth, they call you arrogant. You show struggle, they call you weak. And so many people unconsciously choose to stay small. They tell themselves, I'm fine where I am. But deep down, they're negotiating with fear, choosing safety over potential. Here's the paradox. We live in a culture obsessed with achievement, yet, beneath the surface, millions quietly fear what that achievement might cost them. Privacy, peace, authenticity, or relationships. That's why burnout is rising, anxiety is normalized, and quiet quitting became a movement. Not because people don't want success, but because the version of success they've seen looks exhausting, lonely, and fake. This fear isn't new. It's ancient, encoded in myths, religions, and literature. Take the Greek myth of Icarus, the boy who built wings to escape captivity, but flew too close to the sun. His wings melted, and he fell to his death. The moral? Don't fly too high. Stay in your lane. Be humble. That myth, repeated across generations, became psychological programming. Even in modern life, we hear echoes of it. Don't get too ambitious. Don't outshine others. Play it safe. It's cultural conditioning disguised as wisdom. But what it really teaches is fear success, because success leads to downfall. In reality, the fall only happens when you forget to evolve while rising. Icarus didn't die because he succeeded. He died because he ignored balance. So, what does this fear cost you? Mentally, emotionally, even spiritually? Emotional paralysis. You live in a constant loop of almost. Almost finishing, almost starting, almost ready. You become addicted to potential, but allergic to completion. Chronic guilt. You feel guilty for wanting more than others. You minimize your wins, so you won't make others uncomfortable. Identity confusion. You cling to your old self, the struggler, the underdog, the learner, because success requires shedding that identity, and that feels like losing you. In therapy, this often shows up as imposter syndrome, the sense that you don't deserve your wins. But beneath imposter syndrome lies something deeper, a fear of the identity shift success demands. Because real success doesn't just change your bank account. It changes your self-image, your circle, your routines, your worldview. And the human brain by nature resists radical change, even when it's positive. Here's the truth few talk about. The fear of success isn't a flaw. It's a form of self-protection that once kept you safe. You feared visibility because visibility once brought pain. You feared leadership because leadership once meant rejection. You feared abundance because abundance once triggered guilt. But those fears were written by your past self, and that version of you is no longer in charge. The first step to overcoming fear of success is recognition. Name it. Say it out loud. I am afraid of success, not because I can't handle it, but because I once learned it was unsafe. Once you do that, you strip the fear of its power. You move from avoidance to awareness, from reaction to responsibility. History is full of people who battled and overcame this silent fear. J.K. Rowling, for instance, delayed publishing Harry Potter multiple times, not out of laziness but fear. Fear of exposure, failure, and losing privacy. But when she embraced the risk, she built a legacy that redefined children's literature. Elon Musk has spoken about his intense anxiety during Tesla's early years, the fear of losing everything after gaining so much. Yet, by reframing success not as winning, but as solving, he shifted his emotional relationship with achievement. Even Michael Jordan, arguably one of the most successful athletes in history, admitted that after every championship, he felt an eerie void, a post-success depression. Because once you reach the top, the question becomes, what now? The difference between those who stay stuck and those who rise again is that the latter stop chasing validation and start chasing meaning. Neuroscience reveals that fear of success and fear of failure activate the same part of the brain, the amygdala, our survival center. To the brain, both are threats. Success threatens stability. Failure threatens self-worth. But the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for logic and long-term planning, can override this by reframing the emotion. When you imagine success vividly and repeatedly, not as something risky, but as something aligned, meaningful, and safe, you begin to rewire the association. That's why journaling, visualization, and therapy aren't woo-woo concepts. They're neural training. They teach your brain to stop seeing growth as danger and start seeing it as destiny. The saddest outcome of this fear isn't poverty. It's potential left unexplored. Thousands of people spend their lives circling around dreams they never dare to touch. They wait for the right time, the perfect plan, or enough confidence. But those are just elegant disguises for fear. And the cruel truth is, life doesn't wait. Unlived potential turns into resentment. And the longer you avoid success, the more foreign it begins to feel. So how do you heal it? How do you stop fearing the very thing you've always wanted? Let's end with 3 insights and practices that help reframe your relationship with success. 1. Redefine success as expansion, not pressure. Stop defining success as a destination. It's not a peak. It's a process of becoming. When you see success as growth rather than performance, the fear loses power. It becomes an adventure, not a judgment. 2. Heal the association of visibility and pain. Ask yourself, when did being seen first feel unsafe? Trace it back. That's where the fear began. Then slowly rewrite that association by allowing yourself to be visible in small ways. Speak up, share your work, express your ideas. Each time you do, your brain learns. Visibility can be safe now. 3. Anchor. Success in meaning, not ego. The safest kind of success is purpose-driven. When your goals serve something beyond you, family, community, art, growth, your brain stops viewing it as a threat and starts seeing it as a calling. Here's the paradox. The people most afraid of success are often the ones most capable of handling it. Their fear isn't weakness, it's sensitivity. It's an awareness of how powerful success truly is, how it transforms everything it touches. So, if you've been holding back, sabotaging yourself, or playing small, remember, fear doesn't mean stop. It means you're standing at the edge of evolution. The only way through is forward. If this resonated with you, take a deep breath. You're not broken. You're becoming. And that quiet fear, it's not your enemy. It's the door you've been avoiding, the one that leads straight to who you were meant to be all along. If this video gave you something to think about, leave a comment below. What's one success you've been afraid to fully embrace, and why? And if you'd like more videos like this, exploring the mind, emotion, and human potential, subscribe, and let's keep growing together. Because the journey to success begins the moment you stop fearing it.